Hello, welcome to our yoga practice to end our 2-week series. So I hope you feel strong and like you've got some really good workouts under your belt these past 4 weeks. If you've done the 2-week program with me, and then the 2-week paper program with me, and then the 2-week live or interactive follow along videos with me. So I know this yoga practice is definitely needed after all of those workouts. So congratulations. And thank you so much for being here with me to practice this wonderful form of self-care, something that is very close to my heart that I do almost every day. And we can all benefit from taking some time to just relax and tune into ourselves and stretch and connect that mind and body. So thank you so much for being here, and let's get to it. So we're just gonna start in a comfortable seat, whatever that may be for you. So you can sit cross-legged or up on your knees or even lying down. This is your practice. Listen to your body, meet it where it's at today. And if you're sitting, we're just gonna root down through the sits bones, feeling super grounded, connected to the mat, to our practice, to the earth. Feeling supported. And then tuning into the breath. So you can rest the hands gently on the knees, palms facing down. If you'd like to go a little more introspective, or if you're looking for a little more energy today, flip the palms up, signaling that you're willing to receive energy from the universe. And you always have the option to place one palm on the other in the center of your lap. So just whatever resonates with you today. Tuning into that breath. First, we just observe. Notice how you're feeling in this moment, coming onto your mat. Maybe you're just starting your day. Maybe you're ending your day. Maybe it was chaotic and stressful. So just letting the rest of the world melt away. Tuning in to that seed of intuition that lies within each of us. And that sense of calm and peace we can always cultivate by coming back to our anchor, our breath. So now just starting to deepen the breath. Deep inhale through the nostrils, filling the belly, then the chest. So feeling deep into the diaphragm, feeling the belly expand with each inhale. The chest rises last, and then lengthening that exhale, and reversing the order of how the air came into our body, leaving the chest first. Then we empty the lungs and the diaphragm. So observing these deep breaths. And then we're going to take a few cleansing breaths together. So taking a deep inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, sigh it out. And again, together we breathe in. Holding at the top. Take one more sip in. Exhale, sigh it out. And last deep breath together. Deep inhale. Pausing at the top. Take one more sip of inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Gently blinking open the eyes. Noticing how you feel. Whether you're holding any tension. We're just going to drop the chin to the chest. And then inhale, roll the right ear over the right shoulder. Pausing here. Maybe you want to take a gentle assist. So reaching that right hand up and over to grab the left ear, or just gently placing the palm really on the top of the head. Not really adding too much pressure, just the weight of the hand sometimes is good enough. Just stretch deeply into that other side. Breathe space into any tightness you feel. On your next exhale, releasing the hand, bringing the chin back up parallel toward the ground. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, rolling the left ear to the left shoulder. And if you'd like that gentle assist, left hand comes over to the right side of the head. Pausing here. And in yoga, it means to yoke or union. So we're trying to connect the body, the mind, the spirit, the breath. The breath being our life force. So even though our mind may be going a mile a minute, especially when we're holding these poses, gently reminding ourselves to come back to our breath. One more inhale. And on your exhale, releasing the hand, coming back up. So your chin is parallel with the earth. We're going to inhale, sweep both arms up. Bringing the hands through heart center and then walking the right fingertips out to the right side of the mat. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and over. Side body stretch. Trying not to rotate towards the ground, but rather opening up, shining that chest towards the ceiling. So really shining the collarbones up toward the sky while still finding the length in the left arm. And if you'd like a little bit deeper stretch, you can see if you can come down to that elbow while still keeping these left sit bones on the ground. So if your left hip is popping up, then it might serve you better just to stay up on your hand, but just play around with it. See how you feel. You definitely get a good deep side stretch along the ribs, the obliques, and then maybe even through that lower back. So just notice where you're feeling the sensations. One more deep inhale here. And let our exhale bring us back up through center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Hands come down through heart center. Exhale, left hand find the earth. Inhale, right arm sweeps up and over. Nice long arm, shining that collarbone up. So we're rotating slightly towards the ceiling versus rotating towards the earth. Open wide. And maybe coming down to that elbow if that feels good. That's definitely an intensifier. You can also use a block or a pillow here if you'd like to rest the elbow a little bit lower. Always good to have options and just meet yourself where you are today. One more deep inhale. And our exhale brings us back up through center. We're going to switch the cross of our legs. So whichever leg was in front, or if you're not in a seated cross-legged position, come and join me now. Then we're going to sit up nice and tall, rooting down through both sits bones. I want you to feel the heaviness of the bottom in both sits bones, feeling grounded and rooted as we lengthen through the spine. So sitting up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. So keeping the spine nice and long versus collapsing here. We don't want to tuck the pelvis. We want to keep reaching that pelvis forward, keeping the spine long. We're just going to walk our fingertips out as far as feels comfortable. Find your edge. This is another good place for a prop, a bolster, or a block, or maybe 2 blocks, because now we're going to exhale, relax everything forward. So forward folding over that front of our mat. So in order to relax the head, neck, and shoulders completely, I encourage you to just gently rest your head on a block or a pillow, or sometimes you can just stack your fists, one on top of the other. And maybe that's enough support, but just gently resting here. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale lifts us up, walking us back through center. This time we're going to straighten out both legs. So if you'd like to stay straight this way, or you can turn towards the front of your mat, I'm going to stay facing you. Again, grounding down through both sit bones, sweeping the arms up. Inhale, exhale, forward fold, finding length. So maybe you reach your toes, your ankles, your shins, wherever your hands land today. Keeping that nice length for 2 breath cycles. So holding here. And then on your next exhale, allowing everything to relax and fold forward. So feel free to use a block, a prop. Holding that forward fold for a few more breaths. When you're ready, coming back up to your seated position. And then we're gonna stack the legs in fire log pose, one on top of the other. So shins aiming to be parallel to each other. So let's stack the left foot on top of the right knee, left knee over top the right foot. So again, sitting up nice and tall, shins are stacked. And then we're gonna inhale finally. Exhale, hinge forward. So still trying to keep that straight spine. We're not forward folding yet. We're not just letting everything relax and collapse over the front of the legs just yet. Really breathing into this tightness we feel. So wherever that may be for you. For me, I'm feeling that sensation deep in my left hip. So it's gonna be the leg that's higher. The hip is a little more impinged, less space, but really deep stretch here. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale, rounding forward. Release the head, neck, and shoulders. Forward fold. One more deep inhale. Let your exhale bring you back up to a seated position, switching those legs. So let's first just take our feet to the floor, keeping the knees bent. We can lean back on our hands and just windshield wipering the legs side to side, just to release the hips, kind of recalibrate here. And then we're gonna stack the legs one on top of each other. This time it should be right on top of left. Shins, aiming to get the shins as parallel as possible. So whatever that is for you today. Root down through the sits bones. Inhale. Find length, exhale. Hinging forward, so we're just hinging. So we're not changing the articulation of the spine. We're just keeping the spine straight as possible and hinging forward. So we feel that deep stretch on one side. Breathing here. Always coming back to that anchor of our breath, especially whenever we feel tension, whenever we feel any tightness or anxiety popping up. It's a good rule of thumb in life, in any situation. But we practice it in yoga. So yoga is a practice. It's a constant practice, right? There's no end in sight. We're constantly trying to get better every time we come to our mat. Inhale, one last deep inhale, and then if you'd like a prop, we're gonna fold forward. Exhale, relaxing through the neck, head, and shoulders. One more deep inhale. And then let your exhale bring you back up to a seated position. Gently uncrossing those legs, bringing the feet back to the floor, and just windshield wipering those legs out one more time. Noticing if you feel any difference in the different sides of your hips, different sides of the body. And then we're going to extend the legs to the long side of our mat. So stretching one leg straight to one corner, the other leg straight to the other corner. If you've got a little baby belly like me, really making sure you've got some space here. And sitting up nice and tall, grounding down through the sits bones. That is definitely a good rule of thumb and thing to constantly remind yourself and practice. So we don't want to be collapsing. We want to feel super rooted and lengthened into the mat whenever we're sitting. So any sitting posture. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, we're gonna walk the arms forward, keeping with our theme today of keeping that spine nice and long before we let everything relax. So breathing into the length here. So trying to feel, picture in your third mind's eye, the spine, the head, all the way to the tailbone. Nice long spine, nice lengthened spine. So we don't want any curving or rounding, or we're just trying to practice against that. So if you do feel some curving or rounding and you're not as lengthened just yet, the more you practice this, the more, maybe you're just sitting up here. Totally fine. You're still getting the benefits from the lengthening of those muscles versus completely just rounding into it right away. So keeping that length for 2 more breaths. And then if you'd like a bolster or a pillow or a block, this is a good place for a prop as we hang our head, neck, and shoulders heavy, letting everything release to the floor in our forward fold. Two more breath cycles here. Breath cycles are a full deep inhale and a full deep exhale. And on your next natural exhale, just walking the hands back up, removing your prop. We're gonna bend one leg in, so let's take our left leg, left foot to our right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right hand finds the left knee. Left hand finds the floor behind us. Finding length through the crown of the head. So again, still rooting down through the sits bones, but feeling a nice long spine through this twist. Holding here. Last deep inhale. And let your exhale unwind you, coming back through center. We're just gonna switch those legs. Right knee bends in. Right foot to the left inner thigh. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, twisting to the right. One more deep inhale. Let that exhale unwind you, coming back through center. And now we're just gonna come up to a Malasana. So coming up to our feet, taking the legs nice and wide, wider than shoulder width apart, keeping the hips low, toes can slightly turn out. Hands come into heart center, pressing the elbows against the inner thighs, and maybe just finding some movement here. So swaying through the hips, maybe even coming up onto your toes. The goal here in Malasana, so this will dictate how far apart you need your legs, but we want to try or aim to keep the heels connected with the floor. So if you're up like this, your feet might be a little too close together. Try widening the feet. See if you can get the heels to touch the floor. Otherwise, you can roll up your mat. It's another little trick, and put your heels, just the back third, on your mat, and that'll give you just a little extra leverage if you've got tight ankles, and that might feel a little better. So just holding here. Breathing into any tension you may feel, scanning the body and just seeing where you feel the sensations. So again, dropping the hips down and keeping the spine nice and long. We're gonna inhale, reach those right fingertips towards the floor. Exhale, open the left arm up. 2 deep breaths here. And then releasing the hands back to heart center. Inhale, find length, sit up nice and tall. And then we're gonna reach those left hands down. Right arm opening wide. So we're forming this nice big diagonal line across the body, stretching through the chest, keeping those hips nice and open, pressing the knees away from each other. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale, bringing the hands back to heart center. And now we're just gonna release the palms to the earth, pressing that tailbone up toward the sky, shaking out through the legs. So now we're in this wide-legged forward fold. Finding some movement. Find what feels good. Maybe feeling stretching through the backs of the legs or the lower back. Swaying from side to side. And when you're ready, find stillness. Just let the head hang heavy. Releasing that cervical spine, releasing the tension through the neck. Shaking your head yes and no. And then when you're ready, grabbing opposite elbows. We're gonna hang forward in our ragdoll position, really letting gravity help us here. Lengthening through that spine, just letting everything be heavy. And we're not locking out the knee joint, so keep a slight bend in the backs of the legs. We're gonna take it with our breath, moving with a sway connected to your breath. So we're gonna inhale to the right, exhale to the left. Inhale, rotate right, keeping the arms connected. Exhale, rotate left. So we're kind of taking this little swinging ragdoll. Inhale, exhale. One more to each side. And then when you're ready, find stillness in the center. Release those arms. Place the hands on the hips. Keep the spine nice and long. And we're gonna exhale, stand all the way up, coming up to a standing position. Good, then we're gonna toe heel those feet in and just step it to the front of our mat. Let's take some sun salutations here. So inhale, sweep the arms up, hands meet overhead, maybe taking a slight back bend, hands come down through heart center. Feeling grounded in our mountain pose, so pressing down through all three corners of both feet, rolling the shoulders back and down. Feeling the integrity of the core working, connecting back to our breath. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. So hinging the hips, bending through the knees. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, hands meeting in prayer. And then we're gonna exhale, cactus the arms. So bringing the elbows to shoulder height, shining the heart forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together, maybe taking a slight back bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, swan dive the arms, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping both arms up. Hands meet at prayer at heart center. Coming back to our breath. And exhale, gently release the hands down by your side. And we're gonna clasp our hands together behind our back. Really rotating those shoulders down towards the earth. So just trying to straighten the arms as best you can. If they're not straight, that's totally fine. We're still getting the stretch. So reaching that fist down towards the floor, maybe taking a slight back bend here. Feeling a nice deep stretch through the front body, the chest, the shoulders. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale, releasing the hands. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, swan dive the arms forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to standing. Hands come down through heart center. One breath cycle. Exhale, release the hands down by your side. And then we're gonna switch the clasp. So we're gonna clasp our hands one on top of each other. Again, maybe just the less natural feeling side. So for me, that's my right thumb on top. And then again, really stretching that fist down towards the floor. Inhale. Slight back bend. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Arms sweep overhead. Hands come down through heart center. Now we're gonna ground through that left leg. So find a bend in that left knee, really feeling the muscles engaged, working. And then we're gonna find some buoyancy in the right foot. We're gonna lift the right toes off the ground. Maybe it comes up, maybe the knee comes all the way up to hip height. And we're balancing. Now you wanna grab that knee, pulling the knee maybe closer to the body, closer to the chest, pulling the abdominal muscles in, connecting upper body and lower body. Breathe. Feeling strong and stable through that standing leg. And when you're ready, we're going to connect the right ankle to the left thigh, coming into a standing pigeon pose, or that figure 4 pose. So bringing your hands to your hips, or maybe heart center, whatever helps you feel grounded and balanced here. If you're looking for a little bit more of a deeper stretch or a challenge, we're going to hinge forward and see if you can reach those fingertips to the floor. Deep, deep stretch. Playing with your balance, maybe bending through the leg a little bit more. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale. And then if your fingertips are on the floor, try to engage that core, coming back up to standing, and then release that right leg, and then just shake those legs out. Beautiful. All right, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, swooping the arms up. Hands meet at heart center. Checking in, feeling grounded. Now we're gonna root into that right leg. So bending through the muscles. We don't want to be locked out in that knee. Generous support from all those leg muscles. Then we're gonna play with lifting the toes of the left leg off the ground. Maybe lifting that knee, using the core, all the way to hip height. And if you did on the other side, challenging that balance, grab the knee, hugging the knee towards the chest. Woo. If you fall out, just come right back in. And then we're gonna release the hands and cross that left ankle over to the right thigh, sitting back, bending through the right leg. Whoop. This is definitely my more wobbly side, my windier side. So finding a drishti whenever we're doing a balancing pose will certainly help, or it helps me. So drishti is just a focal point on the floor. Usually optimal if you keep your head, neck, and spine nice and straight. So just keeping the gaze out a few feet in front of you rather than curving, rounding through the neck, or bending the chin. So finding that focal point, or just holding those hands where you feel most steady. And if you'd like to challenge yourself, reaching the hands toward the floor, maybe you can reach your block. Maybe your block can help bring the floor up to you a little bit higher. Do more breath cycles. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Coming back up to standing, woo! And then uncross that left leg and shake those legs out. Good job, guys. Okay, inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, come back to plank, and we're just gonna come into our pigeon pose, or a half pigeon. So bringing the right knee to the right wrist, aiming to get that shin parallel with the front of the mat. Looking back to see that that left leg is nice and long and straight as possible behind us. And then if you'd like support, this is a good place to use a prop, a block, a pillow, a bolster, a blanket, whatever you've got, stuffed animal. Underneath that right hip, if you've got some space there. So if you're not completely in contact with the floor here, using the prop will help you just be able to relax onto the prop instead of holding and feeling that tension. So I encourage you to use a prop whenever we can. So sitting up nice and tall, find length through the crown of the head. Exhale, walking the hands forward and relaxing those head, neck, and shoulders over the front of your mat. And this is another good place. You can raise the earth a little bit, gently placing your forehead on a block or a pillow, or maybe your chest. Sometimes that feels really good to be supported here. Or maybe both. Or stacking your fists, one on top of the other. But however you are, just really trying to release any tension. So completely let go in this fold. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale, sigh it out. And when you're ready, walking the hands back up. Closer to your body. Tucking the back toe, lifting the back knee. We're going to press up using the core. So pull the belly button to the spine to lift that right leg up to meet the back leg in our plank. And we're just going to switch those legs. Bringing that left knee towards the left wrist. Straightening out through the back of the right leg. Placing your prop, your block, or your bolster underneath your left hip if you did on the other side. And every side's different. Maybe you do on one side and you don't on the other. Sometimes, a lot of times, we're imbalanced. We have compensations that happen, and that's normal. Deep inhale, find length. Exhale, folding forward to the earth. Releasing into this pose, so releasing any tension in the head, neck, and shoulders, trying not to grip, just surrender, let go, melt into your mat. Connecting to that deep breath. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale, sigh it out. And then when you're ready, walking your hands back up. We're just going to come to the side of our hip here, swinging that right leg around, removing any props that are in your way. And we're going to hug the knees into our chest, nice and tight, sit up nice and tall, and then slowly rocking back, melting to the floor, hugging knees into chest. And maybe just rocking side to side here, massaging through that lower back. Go ahead and release the left foot to the earth. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Sticking with our hip opening. theme. This is a really good stretch. We've done all variations of pigeon today. So this is a reclined pigeon. If this feels good, you've got a nice deep stretch in that right hip. This is wonderful. You can stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, you can reach the hands through and lift that left leg towards the body, hugging the left leg in, reaching behind the leg on the hamstring, or to intensify it even more, you can grab the front of the shin, the front of the leg. But wherever you are, just really trying to let go. Sometimes we're gripping because our legs are in this bind, but really we're using the bind and the gravity to allow us to completely relax. So just scan the body, see if there's any tightness you're holding on to, and just try to surrender. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. When you're ready, release the bind, release the left foot to the earth. We're just going to switch those legs, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. And taking your version of the stretch here, whatever you did on the other side. Releasing those legs, letting them be in the bind and not gripping in the bind. Two more deep breath cycles. When you're ready, releasing the bind, releasing the hands, releasing the feet to the earth. Then we're going to bring both knees in, shins parallel to the ground. We're just going to shift our hips to the left slightly, and then we're going to rotate, stacking the knees, dropping them to the floor. A little spinal twist here. Feel free to cactus the arms for a little deeper shoulder and chest stretch, or maybe you just want to stick those arms straight out like a T. We're aiming to keep that left shoulder in contact with the floor. And then maybe taking your gaze to the left fingers or the left arm. Deep inhale. Deep exhale, side out. When you're ready, coming back through center. We're just going to shift those hips slightly to the right, and then keeping the legs stacked, dropping them to the left side of our mat. Reaching that right shoulder towards the earth. Taking our gaze to the right side. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale. When you're ready, bringing those knees back in to center. Rocking from side to side, just massaging through that lower back one last time. And then rocking onto your favorite side. Pausing here, feeling supported by the earth, by your mat, by your practice. And when you're ready, pressing up to a comfortable seat. Closing down the eyes, or maybe keeping the gaze nice and soft. Letting the hands gently rest where they may. Just letting the benefits of our practice sink in. Coming to a close with a sense of deep gratitude for ourselves. For yourself, for taking this time, this 45 minutes of self-care, for mind, body, and spirit. For looking after your body as it does so much for us throughout the day without us even thinking about it. Holding us up, our strong muscles and skeletal system, and our heart pumping without us asking, and our breath sustaining us, our life force. We are all a miracle. Bringing our hands to heart center. Taking one last deep cleansing breath together. So together we breathe in through the nostrils. Deep exhale, sigh it out. Thank you all for practicing with me today. I hope you take the sense of peace that we've cultivated by checking in with our anchor, our breath, through the rest of your day and your week, knowing that it's always within you to be peaceful. Bringing our hands to our third eye, our seat of intuition. We bow in reverence to one another, practicing with us today. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I hope you feel nice and calm and a little bit more stretched out. So you can always come back to this flow if you are feeling tight, if you're in need of a good 45-minute stretch. Obviously that was nice and gentle and restorative. We did a lot of deep hip opening stretches, so this could be a good resource, especially if you're a runner or if your legs are super tight. This is always a good practice to come back to. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.